Am I looking at you? Okay. Well, I was at a Virginia Beach City Council meeting a few months ago. At the end of the public comment section, these two women who hadn't really signed up beforehand, but they're like, can we please come up and speak? One of them was Cindy Schott, the paramedical tattoo artist, and she was kind of explaining what she does and was asking the Virginia Beach City Council members to help her because she says it's so hard for people like her that do what she does to set up shop. So they said their thing, and I looked back at the photographer that I was with, and he looked at me, and we were both like, this is a great story. And they sat back down, and we were like, because we're in a meeting, so we had to be quiet. We were tossing cards back and forth, and I was just like, I'll call you. And so, a month or so went by, and finally I called her and was like, okay, I don't know if you remember this. And she was like, I've been waiting for you to call me to do this. So we were both so excited, and it just was just kind of meant to be that we were there. And I just happened to hear her speak at the very end of the meeting. Telling me that you're the reason she kind of got into this. So how, tell me about that.
Hope I can get this.
I know.
Cindy was like an angel coming into my life.
My daughter, when she was in school, she fell in love with the school nurse.
She used to say, I think my daughter flings herself off the monkey bars just so she could come see you every day.
And she came home one day devastated. Miss Jill has cancer. And so I sent Jill a note saying that I would come and clean for her. And so for a year, I had a front row seat to things I never knew existed. Like most of us don't. We all know they lose their hair. We don't know that they lose their eyelashes, their eyebrows, their fingernails, their toenails.
She saw me through everything.
Then I saw pictures of women that were getting their areolas done, and I was kind of ashamed or shocked that what was being offered to them didn't look real.
She did my areolas. And I walked out of there. I was in tears. I was laughing. I was sobbing. And I said, you gave me back my life. And when I took my shower that night, that whole week, I was like, didn't even think of cancer. Didn't look in the mirror. Didn't even think of it. It didn't even cross my mind.
When we were in there, Cindy pulled up the video on her phone from the day Debbie had her areolas done. And you can hear in the video her going and getting emotional, and then her watching it back with Cindy and Jill. There were a lot of tears shed in that room.
I'd forgotten about that video.
It's not just the mastectomy and you're done. Like, it's surgeries after surgery after surgery.
I think part of me, with all the problems I did have, that's one of the reasons I didn't do it yet.
What do you think that'll mean to you? If you do it, soon, what do you think that'll mean when you look in the mirror and see it?
I think that, I think it'll be the sign that it's complete, and life is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're a woman and things are taken away from you, you question, am I still a woman?
We were messaging back and forth after the story ran, and she said she is going to get them done in the fall after her daughter's wedding because she's finally done with all of her surgeries. And that's something else we kind of talked about, was this really for them solidifies the end of everything they've gone through with their cancer. She had a man who was kind of balding in just the top of his head. So she was able to do what looked like hair follicles all over his head. So it's just the range of what she can do with these skin-colored inks.
Sometimes it's bigger than the scar. So I have women that have been through domestic violence, and that person took something from them. And to look in the mirror and see that as a reminder to them that this happened. So it's almost like you're erasing that. You're taking that away. Just like the breast. When you give them an areola, they all have the same reaction. They'll cry. They always put their hands over their mouth and they cry. And it's like you've taken something away from them. I mean, I've had them ball up in a fetal position and sob because you've given something back. So it could be insignificant to someone else, but to that person, it's a reminder of something tragic that happened.
I asked her, I said, is there anything that anyone's come in with that you've said, I don't know if I can do that? And she was like, not yet. And she is welcoming any challenge, anything to come in. And she was like, I'm always trying to get better. Based on what Cindy told me, she said she has talked to a councilman. I'm not entirely sure which one, but they didn't realize that this was creating some kind of barrier. So they want to work with her and try to figure out what they can do to make it a little bit easier and a little more accessible. It's art, but it's more of something medical, more than just, I want this tattoo. It's something that's more of a need. Cindy just on her own is incredible, but having them want to share what Cindy does for them, I think just really just made it that much more impactful. I'm so grateful they wanted to share that with me and with all of our viewers. But the thing that really kind of sealed the deal for this is something I really want to put out there was there was a man sitting in front of me, and he was the one kind of, because I couldn't reach them, was throwing the cards back and forth, and he looked at me and he said, my wife just had a double mastectomy and we didn't know this was an option. I really hope that when people see this who have that thing that they're insecure about or they want just gone and that memory gone, I hope that they will see this and say, this is a choice that I have and I want to take advantage of it.